Okay, so I want you to picture a scenario for a second.
Uh-huh. Go on.
It's Monday morning. You walk into the office, you've got your coffee, and then the head of learning and development drops this 300-page PDF on your desk.
Oh, the Monday morning PDF. Figuratively speaking, of course, it's in your inbox.
Right, exactly. And it's something like, the new global compliance and safety standards for 2026.
Which is really just code for the document everyone needs to know, but nobody, and I mean nobody, is actually going to read.
Exactly. And then comes the real request. Hey, can you whip up a quick video trailer for this? Just something punchy for the company portal so people actually click on it.
Yes. The classic just whip it up request. As if making a professional video is, the same as writing a quick email.
Right. And that right there is the bottleneck we're really starting with today.
Mm-hmm.
Because anyone who's ever tried to produce corporate video knows that whipping it up is, well, it's a nightmare.
It is. It's script writing. It's hiring voice actors. It's fighting with editing software for hours.
And then realizing 3 weeks later, you used the wrong hex code for the company logo, and you have to start all over again.
It's this huge friction, right, between having the knowledge, that massive PDF, and actually sharing it in a way humans want to consume it.
And for a while now, the big promise was that AI would fix this. We were all told, just type a prompt and you'll get a movie.
But the reality was a little different.
A little different is putting it mildly. I've played with those early tools. You type in, show me a safety inspection, and you get a 10-second clip of a man with, 6 fingers walking backwards into a forklift that then melts into the floor.
It was amazing tech for sure, but it wasn't enterprise ready. Not even close. You can't use a 10-second jittery hallucination to explain a complex business process.
And that really brings us right to the topic of today's deep dive. We're looking at a tool that claims to bridge that exact gap to go from the toy phase of AI video to an actual production studio.
We are talking about EON Spark.
EON Spark. Yeah, it's a new release from EON Reality and EON AI Ventures. And the claim they're making is pretty massive.
It is. They aren't just saying we make video clips. They're saying they can take that 300-page PDF we were talking about, automatically parse it, and generate a polished, narrated, 1 to 2 minute promotional video.
And that 1 to 2 minute part feels really important. That's the headline for me.
It's absolutely crucial.
Why, though?
Yeah.
Why is that specific duration so important? What's the big deal if it's 20 seconds versus 2 minutes?
It all comes down to utility. In the source material, they mentioned this crisis in the market.
Mm-hmm.
The crisis wasn't that we couldn't make images move. It was that we couldn't tell a story. Those early AI generators, they'd top out at 10, maybe 20 seconds because the AI just couldn't maintain consistency for any longer than that.
So you could make a GIF, basically, but not a trailer.
Exactly. But in a corporate setting or for a university course or a product launch, you need a narrative. You need a hook, a body, and a call to action. You just can't do that in 10 seconds. EON Spark hitting that 1 to 2 minute mark means it's finally getting into that Goldilocks zone for communication. Long enough to actually teach something, but short enough to hold someone's attention.
Okay, so the promise is definitely there, but, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Healthy skepticism, I like it.
I've seen so many tools promise one-click creation, and usually that just means one-click garbage.
Fair enough.
So let's look at the workflow. The source material says, I just upload my course material, a PDF, a Word doc. But corporate documents are messy, They've got footnotes, weird headers, pages of legal disclaimers.
Oh, yeah.
Does the AI actually understand all that, or do I have to spend 3 hours cleaning the text before I even start? Because if I have to prep the data that much, it kind of defeats the purpose.
That's the first big hurdle, isn't it? EON Spark uses an input layer that feeds into what they call auto-parsing. And this isn't just a simple keyword search.
Okay.
They're using a combination of powerful LLMs, specifically GPT-4, and the Claude API to act as the logic engine.
So if we're sticking with a construction analogy, these models are basically the architects.
Precisely. They analyze the document structure. They're smart enough to ignore the page numbers and that legal footer on page 297 and just extract the core narrative. They break the content down into an actual script.
And it's not just summarizing, you're saying?
No, and that's the key. It's writing a script that is designed for video. It understands visual storytelling.
How does it do that?
It segments the whole thing into scenes, each about 10 to 15 seconds long. It figures out what the narration should be for that scene, and at the same time, what the visual prompt for that scene needs to be.
Okay, so that's the brain of the operation.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the visuals, the beauty part.
Yeah.
because a great script with bad visuals is, just a radio play.
Right.
The document mentions a provider abstraction layer. That sounds like some serious engineering jargon. Can we unpack that?
It does sound like a mouthful, but it's actually the secret sauce here. Think of the abstraction layer as a general contractor.
Okay, general contractor, I'm with you.
If you were trying to build this video manually with different AI tools, you'd be the one hiring the architect, that's GPT-4, to write the script. Then you'd have to go hire a painter, video generation models to visualize it, then a sound engineer.
Yeah, and you'd have to make sure they all talk to each other. If the script changes, you have to run over and tell the painter to change the image.
What a nightmare.
A total nightmare. I mean, you don't want to be managing API calls all day. The provider abstraction layer handles all that translation for you instantly. It's just between you and the raw tech.
So it manages the prompts, the file formats, all that behind the scenes.
Exactly. You just see the simple interface,
Yeah.
but it's coordinating GPT-4 for the logic. And this is really important. It's using Sora 2 and VO3 for the actual video generation.
Sora 2 and VO3, I mean, those are the heavy hitters in video generation right now.
They absolutely are. And that's why the visual quality is so different. We're not talking about just pulling some stock footage. These engines are generating new pixel-level video based on the semantic understanding of your document. But this brings up my biggest fear with generative AI, the whole hallucination factor. If I'm a bank or a hospital or an airline, I can't have a video where the pilot is suddenly wearing a clown suit or the brand colors are neon green when they should be navy blue. How does Spark handle that Frankenstein brand problem?
Yeah, that's the black box problem, right? Usually with AI, you press a button, you get a video, and if it's 90% good but 10% just completely weird, you have to throw the whole thing out and start over.
I call it the slot machine effect. You just pull the lever and hope for a jackpot.
And you usually lose.
Right.
EON Spark addresses this with two key things. First, they have style presets. You can lock in a visual identity from the start.
Like corporate or cinematic.
Exactly. Corporate, cinematic, illustrative. You're telling the painter, Sora or VO Wet Palette, and what vibe to use before it even starts. It constrains the randomness.
So I can just tell it, look, we are a serious enterprise, keep it professional.
You got it. But the second feature is the real game changer here. It's called the Clip Manager.
The Clip Manager. Okay, this was highlighted pretty heavily in the notes. Why is this such a big deal?
Because it solves the iteration problem. Let's say you generate a 2-minute video. It has 8 scenes, 7 of them, they're perfect. But scene 3, I don't know, scene 3 has a weird visual artifact, or the text on screen is just gibberish.
In most tools, you'd have to re-roll the entire video and just pray.
And you might lose the 7 good scenes you liked in the process. It's so frustrating. The Clip Manager gives you granular control.
So you can lock the good scenes?
You can lock the good scenes and only regenerate scene 3. You can rewrite the prompt for just that one 15-second chunk. You can change the visual style for just that moment.
Wow. That shifts the user from being a gambler to being more of a director.
That is the perfect way to put it. You are directing the AI. You're saying, I like this, keep it, I hate this, fix it. It turns it into a professional workflow where you can actually guarantee the quality of the output.
Okay, and what about the audio side of things? We've all heard those awful robotic AI voices that sound like they're reading a hostage ransom note.
The ransom note cadence, yeah. No, Spark integrates with 11 Labs for their premium users and OpenAI TTS for standard.
And 11 Labs is top tier.
It's widely considered the gold standard right now for synthetic voice. It captures intonation, natural pauses, emphasis, all of it.
And does it sync up properly? There's nothing worse than a dub that's a half-second off.
It does. The system handles the audio generation in parallel with the video. It times the narration to fit the scene's duration, or it might stretch the video slightly to match the narration, and then it layers in some background music to glue it all together.
Okay, so we've got the script, the visuals, the sound, and the control. Let's talk speed. Because if this whole process takes 4 hours to render, I might as well just go do it myself the old way.
Speed is a major factor, and they tackle that with something called parallel clip generation.
So it's multitasking.
Exactly. It doesn't generate the first 15 seconds. Then when that's done, start on the next 15. It can generate up to 3 clips simultaneously. It treats the video as a collection of independent chunks being built at the same time.
That has to cut the render time down significantly.
Oh, drastically. And once all those chunks are done, the video stitcher comes in, takes these high-fidelity clips, and seamlessly blends them into one single exportable file.
So let's zoom out. We've gone through the how. Let's talk about the so what. Why does this actually matter for a business? I mean, yeah, it's cool tech, But is it just a novelty?
Well, think about that learner we talked about at the start. Think about that LMS, the learning management system. Right now, in most companies, the LMS is basically a graveyard of text links.
It's where enthusiasm goes to die.
Totally. Of course, abandonment rates are sky high. People log in, they see a wall of text, and they just tune out. EON Spark allows an organization to create a visual index for their entire curriculum.
A visual index. I really like that phrase.
Yeah, imagine if every single PDF, every safety manual, every product update had its own 90-second cinematic trailer. You watch that first, you get the aha moment, you understand why this document matters, and then you dive into the deep reading.
It's the difference between browsing Netflix and browsing a phone book.
That's it. Dan Lajerskar, he's the chairman of EON AI Ventures. He calls this a paradigm shift. And I usually hate that buzzword.
It's so overused.
It is. But in this case, he's talking about unprecedented scale. That's the key word, scale. Before, you would only make a video for your flagship product or your most important CEO announcement because video was just too expensive.
Right. You have a budget for maybe 5 big videos a year, if you're lucky.
With Spark, the cost of video production just collapses to near zero. The barrier to entry is gone, so you can apply that high production value to everything. The boring compliance update gets the same cinematic treatment as the big product launch.
That's a democratization of the format, really. We're moving from a world where video is special because it's rare to a world where video is the default communication method.
And that ultimately benefits the learner. We know retention is higher with video. We know engagement is higher. So this isn't just about saving the L&D team some time, which it absolutely does. It's about making the knowledge actually stick.
But I want to push on this idea of scale for a second. There's a flip side, right? If I can generate 1,000 videos in a week, aren't we just going to drown in content?
The content flood, it's a valid concern, for sure.
If every single email I get becomes a 2-minute video, I'm going to lose my mind.
Please don't make every email a video. But you're right, this just raises the bar for curation. Just because you can make a video for something doesn't always mean you should. But for training materials, for complex concepts, it's almost always going to be a better way to communicate.
It sounds like the role of the creator is changing then. You're not a technician anymore. You don't need to know how to keyframe in Adobe Premiere.
No, you don't. You need to be a strategist. You need to be a curator. The value shifts from technical execution to the quality of your input. If you feed the machine a badly written PDF, you'll just get a beautiful, high-definition video of bad ideas.
Garbage in, cinematic garbage out.
Exactly. The tool handles the gloss. You still have to handle the substance.
And that leads me to a final thought I want to leave our listeners with. And it's a bit of an uncomfortable reality we might need to sit with.
Okay, let's hear it.
We are entering an era where looking expensive is now cheap.
That's a powerful way to put it, yeah.
For decades, we've trusted high production value. If a video looks slick, with good lighting and a professional voiceover, we just assumed the company was legitimate and the content was authoritative.
It was a signal of resources, a signal of credibility.
Exactly. But now, a tool like EON Spark allows a single person with a laptop to generate that same level of polish in a few minutes. So if the barrier to looking professional is gone, how do organizations even differentiate themselves anymore?
That is the big question, isn't it?
If everyone can look like a Hollywood studio, the gloss kind of becomes invisible. It's just the baseline.
I think it swings the pendulum right back to the story. It swings back to the unique insight. If the production part is automated, then the human element, the actual wisdom in your source material, becomes the only real differentiator left.
So don't hide behind the pixels. Use the tool to amplify your message, but you better make sure the message is worth amplifying in the first place.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's a fascinating time to be in content creation. The tools are getting sharper, but the rules are changing every single day.
It certainly keeps us on our toes.
Well, a huge thank you to EON Reality for giving us a look under the hood of Spark. And for our listeners, whether you're in L&D, marketing, or you're just trying to get your team to finally read the safety manual, the future of video is looking pretty automated.
And hopefully a lot less painful.
Amen to that. Thanks for deep diving with us. We'll catch you on the next one.
Keep learning.